And so there we have it. After nearly 2.5 months, I think, of two officers turning up at my door saying I'm going to be reported for court. Of course, one of them was pretending to be a sergeant, but I assume duplicity is modern practice with the police force these days. So, anyway, after 2.5 months of waiting, obviously, you know, I'm never going to be arrested for harassing and distressing a council officer. A council officer, incidentally, who is complicit in a 30-year fraud of theft from the public purse, and who also now, it would seem, cannot seem to justify why the charge. Well, it doesn't really matter what the charge. I mean, it's £70 for a court summons and it's £240 for a committal order, but it seems to have no explanation for how they reach those figures, which means that they're stealing money from people, really. So, I mean, I should have seen this coming, really. I mean, they've been stealing trading license money for 30 years. I mean, why not steal committal order money and court summons money? That's all these people do, is just steal from us. Interestingly, about 3 weeks ago, I took a walk through Huntingdon, and of course no coppers on the beat as usual, because of course there seems to be this ongoing agenda now whereby all the police are going to basically show themselves as little as possible, and instead we're going to have traffic wardens, highways agency, I don't know, VOSA, town rangers, which is the point I'm getting onto, litter wardens or whatever they're called, I don't know, you know, in their place. And of course the police don't have to be there then, because all these other plastic police are you know, PCSOs, that's a good one. All these other plastic police are doing the police's job for them, so they can just be on speeding duty and invent harassment and distress cases to try and cover up 30 years worth of fraud. And I took a walk through Huntingdon today, and it occurred to me, because I'd seen about 3 weeks ago, I'd seen an advert for what they call these town rangers now. And it occurred to me that not only had I not seen one that day, that I didn't see one today either. I don't know if the advert was still there, I never checked. But obviously this was set up, they're now charging businesses in Huntingdon extra for this. It's called the Business Initiative Development Fund or something, BID. So they're now charging businesses extra on top of their business rates to have these town rangers, and they have no town rangers. But you know, this is what it's all about. They just invent this stuff, charge you more for your taxes, say this is what you're going to get, and then of course you don't get it. Not unlike the invisible tax disc now. So if you think about it, you're actually paying for nothing now, because it's not road tax anymore, they call it vehicle excise duty. So if anyone can tell me what vehicle excise duty actually means, I'd look forward to an explanation. Because those three words put together have no meaning. Vehicle excise duty, I mean, what's excise duty? So you're actually being charged for nothing, and you're being charged more for nothing, like all the businesses who've had to pay into the Business Initiative Development Fund, and now there's no town rangers, and almost guaranteed they're getting no other services either, of course. Meanwhile, the police, busy on their invented harassment and distress charges, have obviously threatened to send me to jail, completely illegally, threatened me. One particular sergeant said, oh yes, this file's been sent to the CPS and now it's going to be determined, you know, when you will turn up in court. when you'll turn up in court, not if, to answer these allegations. And then he said, oh, have a nice weekend. Have a nice weekend. Oh, you're going to send me to jail for 5 years, but yeah, I'll have a nice weekend. Yeah, cheers, mate. Thanks. You know, these people are quite incredible, really. And now, of course, HTC have got back to me vis-a-vis what I was saying at the beginning of this video, saying that the information I'm requesting about why they charge £70 and why they charge £240, that's personal information, so they can't put it on a public website, such as whatdoyouknow.com, or whatdotheyknow.com even. So they obviously must be charging different amounts for these committal orders to different people, because otherwise why would it be personal information? But I've covered that already, so I'm not going to go back into that. Right, so anyway, yes, rest assured, dear viewers, I don't think I'll be getting arrested or even going to court. The police are far too proud and happy to cover up 30 years worth of theft for their bent mates in the council. I still want to see David Cameron, although of course if we wait another 6 months he might not even be in the office anymore, hopefully. Do you think he'll come round to see me after that? He probably would, actually. Well, I can't do anything now because I'm not in charge, but we'll come to see you anyway. Okay, yeah. Go away. So there we have, without doubt, if I can say nothing else, after 5 years, yeah, I would say the entirety, but it's not the entirety. We're dealing with about 20 police officers here who are obviously completely bent, and obviously signed their soul away to the devil to protect their bent council mates. The council, of course, are still churning out representatives who, of course, have never heard of this trading licence thing, so them being implicated for the first time doesn't mean anything. So we're looking at about 50 council officers, I think, probably, who are guilty of offences from anything from perjury to perverting the course of justice to misconduct in public office. But the police don't want to investigate that. David Cameron, of course, has put a media blackout in all of this, which might tell you something, other than the 90 odd YouTube videos I've done. And of course the auditor and the LGO and everyone else are pretending that nothing's going on, and the Information Commissioner won't speak to me anymore. Well, in the words of one council officer who phoned my mate with the burger van, who's also been arrested, harassed, distressed, illegally persecuted and prosecuted, well, attempted prosecution, he got off, because of course the police had no evidence. In the words of one council officer whose name I forget now, he phoned my mate up and he said, well, he said, we'd like you to come down to Pathfinder House for have a nice cup of tea and a meeting. I don't think he said it in that accent. But naturally we declined. And that was just before the court hearing, which is covered by a bent judge and a very expensive magistrate, I think it is. The bailiff has gone away from that court hearing also, so HTC have basically wasted all that public money to get a bent warrant, because of course the judge was bent. So yes, well yes, what can I say, the entirety of the establishment then in Huntingdon certainly is completely bent, and I just was feeling rather smug at the minute. So the next video you see I might be smoking a rather large fat cigar, and possibly drinking brandy at 60 quid a bottle, but you know, we'll wait and see. And anyway, I just also fancied a bit of silliness. So yes, thank you for watching if you've got this far, and I'll update you later on, I'm sure.